Are you a parent of a child who is ages 2 through 8? Yes, if you are, then let me ask you a couple of other questions. Are you a parent who is very concerned about making sure you are providing what you need to as a parent, that your child will have a successful life as a kid and as an adult? Are you a parent who your greatest desire for your child or children is that they are happy, healthy, and successful adults with a happy, healthy, successful childhood as well? If your answer is yes, then I'm guessing you are doing a lot of things really well, as in making sure they have physical exercise so that their physical body is developing as it should. I'm guessing that you are feeding them a healthy diet, taking as much sugar out of it as you can, and providing lots of fruits and vegetables or whatever they will eat, right? And protein and exercise. I bet you have them involved in things that are very healthy, and maybe different activities. But there's one thing that I'm not sure that you have. And if you haven't, I have an answer. I have a solution. And that is music. Music truly does make kids smarter. Now, not in the same way that we have heard in the past of just turn on some music or classical music and they're magically going to become smarter. No, that doesn't do it, right? I am a music teacher, an author, and a mom of 2 kids who are happy and successful in their own way. And they're not professional musicians. But I know that music in their lives made a huge difference. And I know that your child can have that too. All right? What do I know? Bullet points? I know this. A, kids that are making music, even as young as 2, if you are monitoring their brain activity, all quadrants of the brain are engaged. Firing synapses are being built between that, creating a very incredible infrastructure of mental capacity that overflows into everything else. Music is what builds those bridges in the mind, as well as the heart and the soul, as well as a therapeutic outlet. And it does so much more. Why do I think that because music was in my 2 kids' lives that it made a difference? I'll tell you why. A, they both, opposite personalities, tested at the highest percentage on standardized tests throughout their entire academic life. B, you could say, well, that's just genetics. Maybe it is. I don't know. But I know that music certainly did not hurt them, right? Secondly, even if that wasn't true, because they were involved in music, at my encouragement, of course, was they were always involved in groups of kids who are achievers. Every organized group of musicians at whatever age, especially as they grow and stay in band or orchestra or choir, that's an actively music making group, also happen to be the top percentage of their academic class. Look around at who's in the top percentages of their class, and the majority of them are also in band or choir or orchestra. That's some coincidence. There's some correlation. You bet I want my kids in music, and I want your child in music too. 2, those achieving kids are also what sometimes get termed as the good kids, because they're so busy being involved and practicing their skills and honing their skills like how to organize your time, how to be disciplined about practice, how to play with expression and emotion and to understand the music and bring that out. All of these skills are life skills. In fact, there's a new term for it because there is a deficit in enough children across the world, and especially across the US, that they studied it and called it the executive function skills, the higher order skills, or the upstairs brain skills. They have recognized that enough kids are struggling in those things, like organizational skills, being able to process, being able to know what to do next, being able to prioritize, that they're struggling in school. And guess what? All of those same books, who have nothing to do with music, things like Smart and Scattered, Brain Rules for Babies, those books, The Whole Brain Child, every single one of them, one of the common themes that each one of them state is, if you want to help develop those executive function skills in your child, nurture them so that they don't struggle, get them involved in making music. Yeah, it's there. So why do I say that music makes kids smarter? Because it does. Not in the traditional or the old school way of just listen to it. No, we have too much of that going on. And this is why it's a problem now and hasn't been relevant in generations past. Because the smartphone that I'm videotaping this on right now is also in the hands of every adult and every child that I see. Nobody's guilty for that. And I'm doing it all the time, right? We use the technology, we use the advances that come our way. But what happens is, with every advancement that happens in society, there's always something that gets sacrificed too. So for example, years back, about 50 years ago, we did not have a plethora of desk jobs and computer jobs. It did not exist. Everybody, in order to put food on the table, had to milk their own cow or have their eggs, or they had to physically work. They had to physically do the work to provide for their families. So did we need exercise gyms? Did we need DVDs for exercise? Did we need any of these programs that are now abundant everywhere? No, because nobody needed it. Everybody was physically fit. But society changed, and with advancements, we started to have desk jobs, and we had computers, and then people started to become overweight and obese and have health issues. Well, okay, we have a problem. What's the problem? We're lacking physical exercise. So now we have to become intentional about physical exercise in our lives. We have to get at least 30 minutes of physical exercise a day in order to be physically fit. We recognized it, we identified it, and then those who would take action to be healthy for themselves and their children started to make sure that they had it in their life, scheduled in, so that they were physically fit, right? I'm guessing even if you don't do it, everybody is aware that that is what needs to happen. We have a new phenomena, and that is that everybody is passing time wherever you look, on the street, in a waiting room, in a restaurant. When we're supposed to be having conversation, we all have our smartphones out and our digital devices, and we are passing time. We're even showing each other apps. I'm just as guilty. I do the same thing, okay? But we're putting those in our kids' hands, and there's a wonderful, there's so many abundance of educational apps. I'm not saying they're bad. Absolutely not. But just the same as we went through a physical exercise transformation, and we needed to move from it just happening without thinking about it to becoming purposeful, intentionally scheduling it into our lives, and then knowing what to do and maximizing that time, we need to do that for our children. We need to do it for ourselves. Did you know that playing a musical instrument, no matter what level, even the very beginning level, exercises anybody's brain, no matter how old? Did you know that there are programs for elderly who want to stave off dementia or Alzheimer's, that to exercise their brain, they have them begin playing an instrument? This can happen from birth, actually. But the things that I know how to really teach is age 2. So from age 2 all the way up through 8, and then we can hand them off into an instrument where they'll be reading music. I can help you provide the foundation that gets them making music in their play. Doesn't have to be formal. You don't even have to schedule it as 30 minutes a day. You, the parent, just need to make sure that they are including intentional music making in their play. And I'm talking about keeping the beat with songs, but physically doing it. All right, and there's ways that they can do it as young children that it would be too complicated, like dancing to the beat. How many adults do you know, and it might be you, that feel like you can't dance? Let me on your little secret. Let me in. Let me let you in on a little secret. If you can walk, you actually have the capability to dance. You just never developed your musical ear to hear the beat in music and then match it. But the fact that you can walk a steady pulse down the sidewalk, and everywhere I look, I don't see anyone not doing that unless they have a physical ailment. Everybody has that sense of beat in them, but it's not developed in everyone. That doesn't have to be true for your child. And if you develop that in your child, a sense of beat, a sense of rhythm, through games and play, things that used to happen naturally in a child's life. Because remember, when children were bored, when you were bored and you did not have a digital device because it had not been invented yet, what did you do? You either played a jump roping game, you played a singing game, you did a clapping game, you did the hand clapping things, you skipped rope. All of those things are actually making music. And all of those things actually engaged all of the brain. And it gave you a foundation. And then if you had musical parents or a musical home, or you took music, a music instrument, you developed a sense of beat where you could listen to music, identify the beat, and match it with your body in whatever that meant, either through dancing or through your hands clapping, whatever those things are. And then the more you did, the more you developed, and then it advanced to rhythm. And that helped your speech patterns. It helped your fluency of how well you can read and how quickly, all of those things. And if you took a musical instrument, if you practiced that, you developed those upstairs brain skills, being organized in your thought patterns and processing, okay, I have a project to complete. What steps do I need to take? And what order do they need to come in? Those are executive function skills. And you receive those, if you're a musician, through practicing music. You really exercise those. You can have this for your child as well, but only if we become intentional about it. Only if we have music intentionally and purposely in their life, and you know what to do. Because there's no way that if you have smartphones and digital devices, you can't take those away. We just have to adapt our daily life the same way we adapt our physical exercise from being all throughout the day to an intense 30 to 45 minutes a day, to compensate for that and make sure that we are still fully exercised, because music does make kids smarter, and that's why. And if you're not doing that with your child, they're missing out. If you are not doing things that do exercise those, how are they going to develop them? How are you going to unlock their full potential? Right? And how do you begin? I'm here to help. My name is Sharon Burch, an author of the Freddie the Frog book series, the easiest way to get started. You can start it with a bedtime story. And if you want to know more, check it out, themusicalchild.com. I can lead you through it. Things that, as long as you have the knowledge and the understanding, you will be able to integrate it into their play. And for you, it will be purposeful. And for your kids, it will be playful, physical, and fun. I have a webinar coming up. I invite you to be part of it. I want the best for your child. I want our next generation to not even need to use the term executive function. I want the next generation to be the smartest, the brightest, the most creative, and the top of their class, happy, healthy, successful kids.